What are the best, most powerful weapons for each class in Terraria Calamity Mod? For the Ranger class, we have Soma Prime, and if you're a bow user, Contagion. Soma Prime deals 200 base damage and shoots at an insanely fast speed. It converts bullets into extremely powerful high velocity rounds that inflict a very powerful bleed debuff, Shred, that inflicts 750 damage per second. It also has a very high 44% base critical chance. And indeed, it is a reference to another popular game, Warframe. Contagion deals 880 base damage. It fires powerful contagion arrows that leave exploding orbs behind as they travel, that inflicts a deadly plague debuff to enemies. Holding left click will cause the bow to spin up, increasing the fire rate. For the melee class, we have Elemental Excalibur. It deals 2000 base damage and fires powerful rainbow beams that change their behavior based on their color. For example, yellow beams split into 3 beams, green beams home into enemies, and blue beams infinitely bounces off tiles. Attacks from Elemental Excalibur will inflict several deadly debuffs to enemies and can even freeze enemies. Direct hits to enemies with Elemental Excalibur will heal the player. It can also be right-click to perform a true melee swing that deals double damage. For the Mage class, we have Fabstaff and Eternity. Fabstaff deals base 125 damage and consumes 50 mana. It casts a bouncing beam that splits when enemies are near it. Don't be underwhelmed by the low base damage, it is actually insanely powerful and deals insane DPS. Eternity is a magic book that deals 840 base damage and consumes 30 mana. Eternity creates a large magic circle, which inside will have powerful projectiles in an infinity shape, all of which will be centered around a nearby enemy. If the attack button is held, the beam will slowly grow in size as the beam changes to a darker blue color. Eventually, if the attack is held for long enough, the circle will collapse in on the target, causing massive flower-shaped explosions that inflict massively insane damage, tripling the base damage. The only downside of Eternity is the long wind-up time required for it to deal its maximum potential damage. That's why I am including 2 weapons for the Mage class. Fabstaff will be your weapon against faster or smaller enemies, and Eternity for bigger or slower enemies. For the Summoner class, we have Endogenesis and Temporal Umbrella. Endogenesis deals 1300 base damage and summons an Ascended Ice construct that requires 10 minion slots. It inflicts deadly ice-related debuffs to enemies. It is very unique because resummoning or using the staff causes it to change modes. The first mode makes it shoot sweeping lasers aimed at the enemy. Second mode sacrifices its limbs to shoot out homing projectiles. The third mode allows it to aggressively tackle its enemies. And the fourth mode makes the limb function as endothermic flamethrowers. Temporal Umbrella deals 193 base damage and uses 5 minion slots. It summons a magic hat to hover above your head that will release a variety of objects to assault your foes, ranging from elemental sniper rifles, axes, bats, hammers, umbrellas, and even birds. Temporal Umbrella also inflicts several deadly debuffs to enemies. The combined effect of the debuffs causes enemies to lose 95 health per second, lose 150 for defense, have their damage reduction reduced by 25%, and become unable to move. It is also a reference from another popular game, A Hat in Time. Perdition is also a great summoner sentry weapon too. For the Rogue class, we have the infamously powerful Scarlet Devil. Scarlet Devil deals 8000 base damage. It throws an ultra high velocity spear which creates more projectiles that homes into enemies. The spear also creates a very powerful Scarlet Blast upon hitting an enemy. Stealth Strikes grants you lifesteal and summon a star of projectiles upon hitting an enemy. Fun fact, Scarlet Devil is a reference to Remilia Scarlet from the Touhou Project series. Another fun fact, in the 1.5 Calamity update, Scarlet Devil base damage was nerfed from 40,000 to 8,000, with a total loss of 32,000 damage. This makes Scarlet Devil the weapon with the most drastic damage stat change in the mod's history, along with Murasama as the second place. Even though that happened, both of the weapons are still very powerful. All the weapons in this list will assist you well against your fight against the super boss Adult Eidolon Wyrm aka Mr. Jared. Thanks for watching and have a good day.